I'm Noah Nordheimer. I'm the founder and CEO of All Points North. I've been working in the behavioral health field now for close to 13 years. Successfully founded, this is the second company that I have founded in the space. The first company was a company called Concerted Care Group, which we exited to Windrose Healthcare Partners 4 years ago, which is a private equity firm out of New York. We actually utilized EB-5 funding in the development of Concerted Care Group, so I'm really excited to come out with another EB-5 offering for the All Points North brand. APN really is one of the leading behavioral health providers in the United States. We've generated some of the best outcomes that the industry has seen to date. We've been in the top 5% of something called the ACORN collaboration. ACORN is one of the largest data sets tracking behavioral health providers across the country. So we're being benchmarked against several thousand providers, tracking over 3 million lives. And for 2 years in a row, APN has been the top 5% of that for our outcomes data. When you look at our severity adjusted improvement scores for our clients, they're more than double that of highly effective providers. Readmission rates of under 7% now. Really just a strong foundation for a growing organization. Last year, we did $54 million of revenue. The Lodge is slated to do $16 million of clinic level EBITDA this year, and we're looking at doing about $70 million of revenue across 6 locations. We've really grown our per patient revenue. We have a comprehensive offering for our clients. Our clients that are suffering from substance use disorders or mental health disorders really require a comprehensive long-term solution. And that's what APN has developed. We've built a continuum of care that supports our clients at various different stages of their recovery process. The foundation for that really is the Lodge, though. That's where a lot of our clients' journey begins, but it certainly isn't where it ends. There's a video here of the inside of the Lodge. It's 80,000 square feet. This facility is one of the nicest in the country. Certainly, we've been highly successful here in establishing our relationships with our clients. That's why there is so much pent-up demand here. We generally run with a wait list, which is really the genesis for us, expanding that main campus, adding another 84 beds, because there is so much demand. Unfortunately, there are not enough quality providers out there. So we have really set ourselves to expand that main campus and continue to do what we're already doing successfully.
Thank you for that, Noah. Can you share with our clients a little bit about your goals? What are your short-term goals and your long-term goals for All Points North, please?
Yeah, short-term goals are really for us to get shovels in the ground and start demolition of a small building that we need to demolish. We'd like to do that here towards the end of the year in Q4, get the project started, and then really kick off construction in March of 2025. That's the short-term goals is just to get this project moving here. We're really excited about it. There's so much demand in the market for it. We cannot get it built fast enough. Long-term goals are to stabilize that new asset and really eventually take the company to exit over the next 4 to 5 years. We think that is a realistic horizon for us exiting this business and generating significant returns to ourselves and our investors.
Beautiful. Now that you mentioned the exit for yourselves and your investors, can you talk to us a little bit about, what is the exit strategy for EB-5 investors in particular? Like, what is the timing and who would be a potential buyer for All Points North?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of demand within private equity for behavioral health. Our last business traded at close to a 15 multiple on EBITDA. So I think ultimately private equity is probably the leading candidate. I would say not far behind private equity, though, are the payers, the managed care organizations or insurance companies. There's something called the payvider model, which has really been rapidly expanding over the past several years, where insurance companies are acquiring providers, diversifying their revenue streams, and they've been extremely active in those acquisitions. So I think both of those groups are really good candidates, as well as other large hospital systems that are really interested in getting into behavioral health, but they really don't have the skill set to develop that entire service line. So they've been more active in acquiring them as well.
Understood. So you're thinking the exit would be in about 4 to 5 years?
I think 4 to 5 years is a very realistic timeline. We've already had people approach us. We want to get the company a little bit more mature, and building phase two adds a lot of value for ourselves and our investors. So I think based on the timeline for construction, based on the timeline for stabilization of that asset, and some of the other assets that we've newly developed, we're really, I think 4 to 5 years is a very, very doable timeline.
Understood. No, another question. I know you've raised private equity funds for All Points North. So your potential buyers could be private equity firms. So you have access to private equity funding. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Just within the All Points North organization, we have raised nearly $100 million, of which we have several private equity firms or funds invested into the project. They continue to invest in the project, as does my private equity fund that I run. So we certainly are working hand in hand with large private equity funds that are interested in continuing to grow the business with us. I've worked with private equity throughout the past 25 years of my career. Ultimately, I've deployed about $4 billion of total investments across real estate assets and healthcare assets. And all of those have been successful projects, including deploying EB5 funds. This will be the second project that I've done. The first project that we utilized EB5 investment on, all of our investors received expedited status. We ended up selling that company about 4 years after the EB5 funds were fully deployed into the project. And all of those investors were returned their capital plus the interest that they had accrued and the upside in the deal. And everyone walked away really, really happy.
It's really good to hear, Noah. So you do have access to funding, and I'm thinking that if any challenges arise, it wouldn't be really hard for you to get access to funding.
No, we've always been creative, and that's why we have projects that don't fail, where we build redundancy, and we're always thinking about worst case scenarios. We always hope for the best, but plan for the worst. And ultimately, I think that's why we're successful in the development of our projects, is because we looked at everything through that lens of what could go wrong. We planned for it accordingly, and ultimately, we try and avoid those things, but sometimes things happen that you can't plan for. And I think we do a really good job of responding, and are ultimately prepared with our partners to raise the capital through whatever means necessary to complete the construction of phase two.
Beautiful. Now, you have access to funding. You feel confident about, what you're doing. You've done this before many times. Can you tell me, why are you looking to raise EB5 funds?
Yeah, EB5 is a great vehicle for us because it's priced somewhere between equity and debt. So it's a little bit cheaper for us than equity, probably a little bit more expensive than debt. So it's somewhere in the middle. I've enjoyed doing EB5 projects before under a similar structure and been successful with it. And also, all of us came from different backgrounds and ultimately got access to live in the US. So it's important to me to continue that as my family was welcomed here, and I want to continue to pass that along, that opportunity to others.
Thank you for that, Noah. Well, I don't have any more questions, Carl. Do you have a question? Any questions for Noah?
Yes, no, yes, please. No, would you mind talking a bit about your partnerships and the collaborations that you've formed for All Points North going forward to develop the business?
Absolutely. Carl, everything that we do is strategic. I would say that within behavioral health, there are certain populations that APN has become known for serving. And a lot of those have to do with strategic relationships, partnerships, contracts. Some examples of that would be state physicians' health programs. So we deal with a lot of impaired physicians and nurses that are referred to us from various states. We work with about 25 states now. Those are strategic partners of ours. Which is also, I would say, the highest hurdle in behavioral health is treating physicians and nurses and other healthcare workers. I think that professional athletes is another group that we serve and have built very specific curriculum around. No one's treated more NFL players than APN probably in the past 2 years. We just got approved as a partner for the NBA. So we're really excited about the work that we're doing with professional athletes. And then there are other large corporations that we work with, the Googles of the world, the Apples of the world, Deloitte, McKinsey, where we're treating a lot of their employees through the relationships that we've formed there. They're referring them to us. And then there are other relationships that are like TriWest, where we have a in-network contract with TriWest and we serve veterans. We built out specific curriculum to serve those that have served our country in the military. And there's a large amount of need there based on the things that they've experienced in war. So there's a lot of trauma, a lot of mental health issues. So we've really, I'd say, strategized around these different populations that have a higher propensity of need. And usually they start out with informal relationships that become more formal and then ultimately move into contracts. So that's stuff that we will be continuing to execute on over the next couple of years and expanding the opportunities. As I said, the lodge is generally running with a wait list now. There's a lot of pent-up demand. So I think with the addition of phase 2, we really can expand those partnerships and opportunities, because right now we are turning people away because we don't have the capacity to serve them.
One more question. Why is this type of business, healthcare, or even, addiction treatment or mental health, a good business to be in?
I think generally healthcare is considered a defensive sector. So when other parts of the economy start to struggle, as we're seeing with real estate, with hospitality, with multifamily, with hotels, as the economy turns down, those industries slow down, and they're impacted by that. Any recession or indications of recession, whereas healthcare generally is, I loosely use the term recession proof, but I would say that over the years and through COVID, our business expanded. We got busier. Ultimately, there's more people suffering when there's a downturn in the economy. So there's more people that actually need our services. And generally speaking, those people don't have the ability to wait. They don't have the ability to wait to get treatment. They need help when they need it. Whereas someone investing in a multifamily building or in a hotel, people can put off taking a vacation. They can put off buying a condominium that ultimately they don't need to have today. And that's what you see during a recession. Whereas in healthcare or behavioral health, people can't put these things off. It's impacting their lives in such a severe way that they have to take action immediately. So we see this as a defensive industry that we continue to invest heavily into, even in a market that looks to be taking a turn a little bit to the south.
Thank you, Noah. Now, talk us a little bit about the location where All Points North is, Vail, Colorado. Now,
Sure.
kind of seen in the EB5 market now, there is a new category of rural category, but All Points North has been there. So it's not being built just to take advantage of the rural category. Talk us a little bit about, the location. Why there?
Yeah, so we looked originally when we developed phase one of the lodge, we looked all over the country between New York, California, Texas, and ultimately found this opportunity in just outside of Vail, Colorado, and Edwards. It's an extremely high income demographic area, and there's a reason for that. It is one of the most beautiful parts of this country. Every single room in the lodge phase one has a view of the New York mountain range, as will phase two. And there's great access. So beyond it just being a stunningly beautiful place, Eagle Airport is about 20 minutes away from our campus there. Denver Airport, which is international and it's the third largest airport in the United States, is only about an hour and 50-minute drive. We have a fleet of Suburbans and Escalades that shuttle people back and forth between there and our Denver location or Denver International Airport. So access is phenomenal. The real estate is irreplaceable, and the homes generally in and around the lodge sell for between $3 million and $30 million. So it is an extremely high income demographic. So the real estate has significant value going forward beyond just the business.
Beautiful. I also read somewhere at some point, not sure when, but I read this study that said that for people to have an effective, especially addiction treatment, they need to be away from their triggers. So like from everyday life. So if they're, in a different
Yeah,
go ahead.
Absolutely. I think that people need to be removed from those stressors or opportunities that are tempting them. And generally, those are happening very close to their homes where we can get them removed, get them out in nature a little bit. We are 20 minutes to Beaver Creek Resort, which is one of the best ski resorts in the country, and about 30 minutes to Vail, which is one of the best and largest ski resorts in the country. So I think we have a lot of opportunities and things for our clients to take advantage of. Yet we still are very accessible, which is an important part of this business. We've seen people develop assets in places where the airports didn't have enough direct flights and they've struggled. We have two phenomenal airports to access our facility from. So I think we have a lot of the components it takes to be successful in this business.
Noah, thank you so much.
Thank
I don't have any more questions. Carl?
Thank you, Q. Noah, thank you for that comprehensive overview. Very interesting. Maybe anything else you'd like to close off with that you could tell our investors?
Look, we have a very significant investment in this company ourselves. There's nothing that we believe in more. While, I think ultimately this is not, it's really an expansion of an existing business that's wildly successful. So ultimately, I think that there's a lot of pent-up demand. We have a great asset. We have phenomenal property. So we're really excited to get this project going and continue growing the business. So with that, no, I thank you guys for your time.
Thank you so much, Noah. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Take care.